Tom?
Yeah, again. World Cup starts 3 weeks on Sunday. You're going to have an awful lot of players, and as are many teams in the Premier League. Do you sense the players subconsciously are starting to think about it, or protect themselves, or is it easy for them to keep it out of the mind? We were just thinking, like,
Never had that question yet, so we are the first one to ask the question. So that's probably the moment when people start thinking about it, when you start asking about it. So it's a logical thing. It happens every year. When usually the World Cup is in the summer, and the big finals are in the summer as well. So if you're involved in a final, Champions League, FA Cup, whatever, European League final, there's no player who thinks in that moment about the World Cup. A little bit later, they want to win that final. So, and if the last match day is the decisive day for qualifying for the Champions League, for staying in the league, there's no player I ever met who would then think, be careful, because the players I know, and our players for sure, are 1,000% committed with us here. But as I said, when everybody's now starting asking, then in that moment the process starts. That's how it is. That's normal. I don't say it will have a massive impact, but then we start thinking about it. I don't think the players who think about the World Cup are the players who get injured in that moment. Then they count days. So that's normal. So you saw obviously a few dramatic scenes, players from other clubs or Diogo as well, but not before a game, after a game. No, it's a normal situation. So after a specific game in the season, it's usually the last game of the season, a big tournament is waiting, and this is not the last game. It's, I don't know, game number 16, 15, 14, I don't know exactly. But that's the only difference. Apart from that, the players are used to that.
Dave?
Do you expect it to be a different Liverpool after the World Cup?
If different means yes. Yeah, but it's honestly not my subject. So yes, we will be different. Yes, we will have trained. Yes, we will have players back. But it depends to how come the players back from the World Cup. I can have no idea about that. Of course, these kind of things are unfirm. If they all come back healthy from the World Cup, if they all go out early, have a break, and can then train with us for 3.5 weeks, yeah, that would be absolutely outstanding. But there are a lot of ifs. So no, I'm not interested in this moment in the Liverpool after the World Cup. I'm interested in the Liverpool tomorrow.
I guess, I mean, you said just before that you're unfortunately not around Manchester City like some of the other clubs, but you're kind of just about close enough if it is an unusual season where they don't really play. If you are.
If we would have won against Nottingham, we would have 19 points, and then we would be a bit closer than now with 16. So I know that, but we didn't. So why should we talk about that? I mean, the problem is, so when we talk about our situation, how can we improve it? It sounds like we just have to play better, and then okay, still an opponent. So, and Leeds is really going for it. Leeds is super lively, super aggressive. It's not like, I think Jesse, Salzburg, Leipzig was a lot of high press, stuff like this. Now it's a lot of midfield press, make spaces really small, going for counter-attacks. A lot of really good players, talented players. Bamford is back. So Harrison, Aronson, speed and desire. Then they have real machines. I'm not sure Adams can play, but if he can play, another hardest worker in midfield. So there's a lot to like about this team, to be honest. And they have no result. The last 6-7 games, no real result. And so they will be here. And I heard only a little bit yesterday when I passed the screen, and I heard just Jesse Marsch saying, I'm sick of losing. So, and he's already very emotional on the touchline. So now being sick of losing and emotional on the touchline, that will be so I can imagine how he will. We saw this halftime talk what he had with Salzburg, so he's obviously in the dressing room pretty lively, so he will set them on fire. So that's our opponent. How could I think for a second about the time after the World Cup? We have to be prepared for this game, nothing else.
Paul Ghost.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about Naby. You said that tomorrow might come too soon for him.
No, Naby's still in a longer rehab phase.
So will he be able to contribute before the break?
Will be tight.
And how much more difficult will that be for him then, given the kind of break in play, you know, difficult getting up to full speed, and then you look at it.
I think that Naby will have a full pre-season with us in December, and that will be perfect for him.
So you think it might be more towards the new year before we finally see a fully fit Naby Keita?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, even if he can play before, if he has no chance to be fully fit, he comes then out of rehab. And yeah, we have 5 games, so I wouldn't rule him out now for 1 or 2 of them. But in this moment, there's still a gap to fill.